Morning, welcome to the show. It's We Are Live. We're live in St. Louis, and we haven't washed away just yet. We're live at Midcoast Studio in Grand Center. Check out midcoast.media for more information on our company and all of its capabilities. Joining live from Brooklyn, New York at Apartment, we have Travis Terrell. Good morning, Trav.
Namaste, my brothers.
Was that a signal? Are you activating something when you do that with the fist up? That makes me nervous as a white individual. I feel like you're activating.
No comment.
Oh, boy. Joining in studio, the Stream Queen, the executive producer, Chris Gardner. Hello, Chris.
Good morning, gentleman in St. Louis. Good morning, my revolutionary brother in Brooklyn. And good morning, Walnuts.
Hello, Walnuts. Stay dry out there. Did I wear the worst shirt possible on a day where you get poured on the way into the studio, out to the car? I'm still showing signs of rain on my shirt.
Is it because it's lighter? Or?
Yeah, but there's a tinge of blue, so it picks
Okay.
it up, right? Looks like I'm just a sweaty mess.
I stepped in a puddle with both feet this morning.
Not going to lie, kind of wish I would have saw that.
It's
been your MO.
But, lucky for me, I keep an extra pair of socks in my bag, and I just changed out. We're going sans shoes this morning so far, but they're drying out a bit.
You don't keep an extra pair of Birks in your bag?
Nah, not really my thing.
I want you
Chris,
to be
do you have a new
Birkenstock guy.
barber?
Excuse me?
Do you have a new barber?
Oh, no.
I like it.
No.
I like the look a lot. No, I'm serious.
You're setting yourself up. Stop it.
I am so let me get this straight.
Listen, I want to do 20
like,
minutes on the World Naked Bike Ride, and you're not gonna put me in a mood.
Your smile there.
You're not gonna put me in a mood.
Why can't I give my friend of many years a compliment?
Okay.
We're not even friends anymore. You're just a guy who's mad at me all the time. You're a guy who just directs all his black rage at one 250-pound pile of white.
I think it's kind of similar.
Did I just nail it? He's laughing too hard, and I know he doesn't find me to be particularly funny.
It's kind of similar. I don't know how many years ago now, when Tough Crowd was around with
Hang on. Fuck you.
Oh man.
I think
Colin Quinn.
I think you nailed it.
One of my gods. Go ahead.
When Tough Crowd was around on Comedy Central, he had Patrice O'Neill on, and they were discussing racism. And Patrice's solution was basically, you find one guy and blame him for everything. He's like some Russian guy with a mustache on a big unicycle, and he's like, that's the guy.
That's the motherfucker.
And then you just direct it all at that. You're kind of that guy on the unicycle.
Yeah,
for Travis.
I agree, for sure.
I'm
like, what are you talking? All I've done is help.
Travis, I seriously thought you were going to be like, oh, who's your new barber? Richard Spencer?
Yep,
Something
yeah,
like that. I
there
thought that's
it
where
was.
you were going.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so weird for me to be nice?
Because you're a mean person. Because you take out your insecurities on those that you love. It's terrible.
That's why I don't date. I don't understand.
That's why you threw in the towel 3 years ago.
Because you know when you care about someone how you're going to treat them. And I don't want to do that to someone.
Billy
Exactly.
Fat Pants already in the comments needs an N-bomb, Denman. That would make it truly funny.
It did.
Yeah, that's true.
Nigga, what you talking about?
Hey, will you say N-word? Where'd you get that cut? I would be honored. Come on, drop one on me.
I think it got weird when she made the request.
No, it's better.
Now he doesn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the etiquette is there.
I think if I
I don't
request you to
either.
say the N-word in my honor, I think it's a sign of endearment.
That's going to be at the funeral.
That racist?
Yeah. Hey,
No, it's an appreciation of the culture.
Travis, at my funeral, will you call me an N-word?
I wanted to offer a simple compliment
Come
to
on.
my friend,
Say
my
N-word, who lined you up?
coworker, my co-host.
Come on.
We're basically brothers. I'm Richard Pryor, and he's
Don't say another Richard.
he's
You dickhead.
Dustin Hoffman. I don't know who was Richard Pryor's best friend. Gene Wilder.
Gene Wilder. Well,
we go.
according to Quincy Jones, it was Marlon Brando. But
Oh.
again, according to Quincy Jones,
See
not
what
me.
happens? I was trying to be nice. I was saying that it was a nice haircut. That's all.
Well,
Mm,
maybe your attitude as of late, when you try something like that, we
Yeah.
know, hey, this isn't normal.
Mhm.
What's he
It's
up
generally
to?
directed at Tommy, though. Generally.
Yeah, but no, it's generally directed at whoever's white and within 5 feet of you. You had the show of your life on Friday. There just happened to be 4 talented black dudes as the guests. So you tell me if there's a pattern here.
Nah, it
You
is.
tell
You
me
know
who
what?
you
I
show
will
off
say,
for.
I will say there may have been some collateral damage of late, but let me just say, like, it ain't y'all. It's just y'all homeboys been wilding this summer. And so sometimes
Hmm.
when I see, here's the thing, and I'm living now in Brooklyn, more diverse. So I'm seeing people that look like me, shared experiences. So now when I see the news coupled with seeing you guys, it's not necessarily directed at you. You're the first and only white face I see all day. And so
So you're
I
saying you
kind of
understand how
maybe
people in rural areas could blame black people for all their problems. That's how I take it, Gardner. That's how I'm taking.
no.
I'll back off on that one.
No, that's just how I hear it, Travis. I hear it. You're becoming what you've always hated. I get it.
I'm not gonna lie, coupled with like Elizabeth Warren, she's been snapping lately. Like, I don't know. I'm just feeling like I'm part of a movement right now.
Oh.
And you
Like
guys,
Fall Out Boy?
and
Mhm.
you're close. It
Mhm.
is. It is
Jay-Z
like
said
Fall Out
that.
Boy,
Jay-Z
actually.
said Fall Out Boy is a movement.
Yeah.
I will.
And then,
And,
can
and
I be real?
unfortunately, Travis and I were in the same room when we heard it, and I was like, till the end of my life, I'm going to remind you that Jay-Z said Fall Out Boy is a movement. Just,
Yeah, and he has every day, like since our friendship started. He
Uh-huh.
has reminded me at least once a month.
I was like, not Blink
Um,
182. You're going to go Fall Out Boy is a movement. Sorry, go ahead.
Bitch.
No, but like, cause so like if when we started a few years ago, like we knew friends in sketch comedy, we knew stand-up comedians, and when they would talk about sketches and ideas, they would do something that's just completely outrageous. And then, you'd be like, oh, Obama hanging out with a rapper, and then they make critical national security decisions. And then you're like, ha ha ha, that's funny because that is asinine. And then you roll out of bed, it's 98 degrees outside, and your president is negotiating the release of a rapper via Twitter,
Mhm.
and you're just like, oh, I'm living inside of a cartoon now.
Mhm.
And so it's just that realization. That's what I'm going through. So if I manifested that in anger, I apologize because that was never my intent. I was also just complimenting that beautiful fade of yours.
Still,
Yeah, I don't.
I'm waiting.
What is that smile about?
And I'm not
Occasionally
even
he's
trying to
got
be
a,
funny. I'm not even trying to
occasionally
be
he's got a
funny
nice
here.
punchline.
Hmm.
Have you also lost about 30 pounds?
60 since February.
See? See?
What do you need?
Yeah, what do you need?
I don't,
What are you
You need
needing,
a-
bro?
You need a care package
I'm
to
not.
get you through the
Yeah,
end of the month?
I think he's getting a little nervous.
What's going on?
He's thinking I'm going to be back there in a matter of how many matter of weeks, and he's going. I remember. You know what, Gardner? He's going. I remember this Denman. He used to be able to. He's kind of light on his feet. He could move pretty well.
Yeah, but you
maybe.
got ankle problems.
Well, I've always had those, and now it's worse. But still,
I'm
that's
just
just what's going through his head.
I'm just looking at my team, man, and my team look good.
Oh,
You
no,
looking
no.
good.
No.
Then
He thought he was signing. He thought he was signing. If Sesame Street was Cowie, he thought he was. He's the Lakers, and now he's looking. He's looking at the leftover free agents, and he's going.
I mean,
Y'all like the beach, right?
He was
Yeah.
the guy
Hey,
that they
ain't
thought
nothing
was going
wrong
to get
with Danny
traded but
Green.
didn't and has to
Ain't
stick
nothing wrong
around.
with Danny
Mhm.
Green and DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, we'll take it. Ain't nothing. Hey, look, I got a squad that I can win with, and y'all looking good, man. Look at
Oh.
Gardner. Look how nice and tan Gardner is.
Mm.
Look, Puerto Rican right now, looking good.
Ooh.
And ain't nothing wrong with giving each other compliments. You guys carry around this toxic masculinity all day.
Wait, what?
You need a different release. So from time to time, it's okay. Look, if you see each other in the office and y'all look nice in your polo shirt like Gardner is right now,
Hmm.
compliment Gardner on his polo shirt. Chris,
Hmm.
tell Gardner how you feel about that polo shirt.
Gardner, you look like a young man who's fallen on some hard times, but a church group got you a good-looking polo that was given to them by a radio station 7 years
See,
ago.
see, toxic, just toxic, just
Yeah,
being
that's pretty
toxic
good.
right now.
I'll take it.
Just
Yeah.
being.
Yeah.
Now tell me where you got that polo.
This actually I had a Golf Galaxy.
Damn it. I was
Yeah.
hoping it was actually, it was a 101 giveaway when I worked there.
Yeah, I think I got rid of all those.
Did you really?
I just gave away the jacket I had like
Out of hate, or
4 months
you
ago.
got a little portly?
no, it's just sitting there, and I'm like, I'm never wearing this thing.
Yeah.
I might as well give it. I gave it to my building manager.
Is
He lives
that right?
across the hall. I'm like,
You-
hey, you guys want this?
What's our version of like? Remember whenever we were growing up and you'd see guys kind of trying to wear stuff from the '70s still, but it wasn't vintage yet. Maybe it'd be early '80s. Is our version of that like?
Yeah.
'90s have already swung back around. Is it me if I try and put on like a Lucky Brand shirt and Doc Martens from 2001?
I was just talking
Like
about.
it's
Don't
like
do
that.
that.
That's not even vintage,
do
man.
that.
You just look like
Okay.
shit.
I was just talking about
Alright,
Z
yeah, don't do that.
Cavaricis with someone the other day.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you
I
wore
just
those,
gave
you'd
you a
look
compliment.
hip now,
Yeah.
right?
See what
Maybe
I
a
mean?
members
I just
only
gave
jacket.
y'all- See what I mean? Gave y'all a compliment. There
Who are
y'all
you
go,
talking
being
to?
white again.
This all
There y'all
started.
go. It's
This
all,
all-
yeah, here
all
y'all go.
It all
started
started
fif-
because you tried to
15
compliment
minutes
my hair.
ago because you wanted to compliment his
I just wanted to compliment y'all. Here y'all go. You can't say I'm not trying. You can't say I'm not trying.
But your trying is always motivated for some kind of self-serving something.
Isn't that the point of trying? Trying should always be motivated. Yes,
That's
of
why I do
course.
charity work, not to
Yeah.
help others, to feel better about myself.
Just in case God's
Thank
real.
you.
Is that what you always say, Gardner? Is that why you say you're an agnostic, not
It's
atheist?
tough to prove a negative, so you can't prove he's not real. Oh, I don't really think he's real.
Oh boy.
But
But you'll do some charity just in case.
just in case,
Yeah.
what's a couple hours?
That makes sense. Good for you. So we've got a haircut comment to start off the show. Thanks, Travis. I appreciate it.
Literally 15 minutes. It took you guys 15 minutes to accept. This is where we are as a species, as men.
Yeah.
It took you 15 minutes to just accept a small compliment. We are horrible human beings.
Yeah.
I get it. I get why women hate us. I absolutely understand. We are idiots.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I give them the benefit of the doubt when they decide to be with us. Yeah, I guess she's going through a lot. I don't know. Maybe she's experimenting. I don't know. I'm gonna go along for the ride, see where it takes us.
Imagine if this like happened on like the baseball field or something. Like Travis, you're the third baseman. Chris makes an unbelievable throw from left field to nail a runner at home plate, and you go,
Well, that happened in
you
softball
go,
in 2000.
you go, nice throw, and Chris goes, what do you mean nice throw?
Right.
Maybe you got it. No, yeah. What do you mean by that?
That's
What's
it.
going on here?
That's horrifically accurate to
Yeah.
the moment that happened
Yeah.
on the Flat Branch softball
this
team
isn't-
that I did gun someone down.
This isn't new.
Why do
This
we
is-
do that? But why do we do that? Isn't that
Because
funny
you're a
though?
bad
But
person. I don't trust you.
Because we don't trust anyone. We don't trust. That's
There
our
it is.
problem. We don't trust.
there you go. There you go. So you understand where some of my anger was coming from.
Damn it.
Oh no.
Yeah. See,
Oh,
you
wait
get
a
it?
second. And in the
You
end,
get it?
and in the end, Travis was right all along, just like his.
Just
And
saying,
we all
man.
learned
I've
a
been trying.
valuable lesson.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did. We trying to process it.
Maybe we should all go visit Tom Duff at St. Louis Counseling Services.
There you go.
StLouisCounseling.org
that.
is the
That's-
website.
ooh, behind
They
the
support
back.
us,
Ooh.
and they've supported the St. Louis area since 1955, improving lives since then. That's right. St. Louis Counseling, businesses, schools, individuals, counseling services for you and yours. Very, very easy to work with. You can sign up for counseling today. Reach out at their website, stlouiscounseling.org. While you're there, check out the podcast, Mental Health Matters. You can download that on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. They record it right here at Midcoast Studio. It's a very, very introspective look at breaking down mental health stigma with an interesting array of guests of professionals. They've had comics on. They've had professional athletes. Benjamin Hockman of the Post-Dispatch has been on. Always a good time with Tom Duff on Mental Health Matters. Again, St. Louis Counseling, sponsor here on We Are Live. I don't think we'll need it. And Gardner, if you want to take a certain order to this, I've got a lot of thoughts about the World Naked Bike Ride.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to jump into anything else right away before we go on that? Because that could last the rest of the hour.
The naked
Well,
bike
let's
ride?
go ahead. Let's go ahead and combine the extravagant heat
Uh-huh.
Yes.
and the naked bike ride.
That definitely
Uh,
left an odor around the park
Yeah.
this weekend as well.
so
So,
yeah, so yeah,
is it
it's
bad in New
been
York? It's been horrible in New
it,
York.
yes, very bad. In fact, we've had now I think four blackouts in the last,
Why
excuse
I
me,
got to be
two
black?
blackouts in the last 4 days. There was, of course, the blackout in Lower Manhattan, and last night there was a blackout uh, here near Bushwick and Georgetown, so parts of Brooklyn. And it's about, I think yesterday around 9 a.m. it was 96, felt like 100, and that was at 9 a.m.
Ugh.
yesterday. They're calling it a heat dome. I don't know
Yeah.
where the dome is coming from, but apparently it's guess it's just along the eastern seaboard, DC, New York, parts of Philly are getting hit with
It
it.
has to do with
Um,
ocean water temperatures, and then the ocean air
uh,
being warmer and kind of create. So guess where that comes from?
yeah,
You
that
can
whole
figure that one
climate
out.
change thing.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, so that it's we're feeling it, and so it's pretty gross to say the least. You're really starting to realize how old these buildings are here in New York this
Hmm.
time of year because it just traps so much heat. It's a real life sauna.
Do you guys, so you hear more and more of this, people are like, we're not AC, going from AC to this extreme heat's going to screw us all up. Do you subscribe to that?
like walking outside and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
because really,
Yeah, my
if your
glasses
AC,
fog up. That's about it.
if your AC is rocking at 69,
Which is mine is.
70 or so, and then you step out and it's 100, that's a pretty big difference. And if you're popping in and out a bunch, I don't know.
Yeah,
You think that messes with us?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't get that one too much.
yeah,
If that's the case, I'd be sick right now, I think.
right.
But
Here's
and
my
I
thing.
cause I let look
And in the
my
winter, it would be the exact top. It would be the same temperature difference.
where my apartment setup is my air conditioning, my electric and all that is included in rent.
So you
So
treat that bitch like a hotel room,
this
don't you?
thing does not stop. I got two
Oh
cats
wow.
there. So I just say, hey, you guys are living pretty good. You guys are doing okay right now because this thing is going to stay at 69, and that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I
Nice.
just let it run. I put it on energy saver today because it was going to cool off some. But if not, oh well. Air conditioning is a simple solution to a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a simple solution. I turn it on, and I get cool when I'm hot. I'm not going to try to, maybe manipulate it any. Why do that? It makes no sense. No sense
You're
at
a
all.
passionate man about this subject.
Well, it's just a simple solution to a problem that, like, if you have it, take advantage of it.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, no, no, no. I'm with you. I'm absolutely there with you. At the same time, as you've already pointed out, man, you've got parts. I said like Brooklyn still, I think 40,000 residents without power right now,
That's not good.
and you just had blackouts again, almost no more than 3 days ago down in Manhattan. It's raising a lot of questions, and I think you're getting to the point where we talked about this a couple of months ago about it having an indirect effect on your everyday being. And we asked ourselves, what would be the scenario or situation that will finally be like to people to realize, oh, this climate change thing actually affects what I do Monday through Sunday. I think this is the case. I think you're looking at a situation where people without power, they can't get fans going. It's incredibly hot outside. It's a massive inconvenience. It's believed to already to have led to a few deaths here in New
Mm-hmm.
York.
For sure.
So I don't know. I don't know what's going to take for people to realize, but I would imagine, waking up in the morning and it being 98 degrees outside would probably do it.
I think I'm trying to remember the exact year. I can't remember what decade it is in particular. It's the 1920s or 1930s, I think it was, where a bad heat wave came through St. Louis. And at that time, they don't have the amenities we have now, right? So thousands of people were just camped out in Forest Park. They just went to Forest Park to camp out because they were trying to get away from the concrete. that was sucking in all the heat.
Wow.
So there are just like
wow.
thousands of people camped out in the park, and that's what they
That's
wanted them.
crazy.
That's what they wanted people to do to stay alive at that time. It was in the 20s or 30s.
Is that a nightmare or a dream for you?
That's a good
Prefer
question.
the AC. Like maybe if I had a generator of some sorts, yeah, okay.
Way to put him on
the
the spot, Chris. That's a good question. That's a Gail King question.
You
Put
just
his
see
ass
me.
on the spot.
You just see me hanging out at the bottom of Art Hill in the
We're
Grand
gonna
Basin
really get
there,
to know you today.
swimming around in what is now Post Dispatch Lake or something like that.
Okay.
That's what you might see. I'm gonna be near the water if that's the case.
Not a whole lot of flapper culture going on in that time.
No, not do. Yeah.
Okay. That'd be
Yeah,
kind
you
of warm.
see me down there doing the Charleston. Yeah, you know.
As one does in a heat wave
Yeah,
in Forest Park.
of course.
So what is it getting up to in St. Louis? How hot did it get this weekend?
Sure. Horrific.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
indexes are over 100.
Yeah.
You just say horrific, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm not even giving you a number.
Yeah.
It's gonna go horrific.
Yeah, heat index
It's just
well
heavy.
into the
It's
hundreds.
so
yeah.
heavy. The air is so heavy. It's tough to smoke.
That's my favorite part. And you're so serious about it. too.
I think what it does is like you can be outside for a little bit, but you cannot be outside for an extended period of time. Like you can't do much because then it wears on you because of how heavy the air is.
We are pretty. We're svelte gentlemen. We're not
Oh,
husky, but we're svelte. What is the time from you walking outdoors till you start sweating? What's the general?
You don't get to choose. The air just sweats onto you, and then you can't tell if it's the moisture in the air or your sweat. That's what
Okay.
happens. I let the dogs out at 4:45 in the morning on Sunday or Saturday, and I literally opened the door and I was like, God, fuck, what the? At 4:45 in the morning, it was already feeling like that.
I
Jesus.
haven't I've noticed, and this has maybe been a trend over the last couple of years. Maybe I need to go see a doctor, but
Yeah.
I haven't sweated as much as I thought I would. Like
Do you do
on the
much?
brow. Well, I'm outside smoking, but I'm
Maybe-
moving around. I walk,
Yeah.
back and forth
Yeah.
to some place. I'm not sweating as much as I thought I would. At least on like the face.
Maybe your body's getting better at conserving.
Yeah, like where I am getting it is kind of like under boob a little bit, a little under boob, and a little bit in the middle of the back.
Titty sweat.
Yeah.
Mm.
But like on my face, I'm not sweating as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
Maybe it's
Are you
just
guys hydrating?
dispersed
Is everyone
elsewhere.
hydrating?
Well,
Did
I
everyone
could do
hydrate this
better.
weekend?
The problem is too when you pound down 5 or 6 cups of coffee every day.
That's what I do.
It's the opposite
Like
of
I'm
what you're
still
supposed to do, right?
outside. I'm outside with a hot cup of coffee and a cigarette still.
Yeah.
I mean, you could find me the same way in the middle of winter though too. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't change.
You're like the.
What are
you're
we
like
wearing? What do we all have on this weekend? Did everyone just go shorts?
Yeah, I went
Anyone
shorts.
put on jeans?
Nope.
Chris, you're a jeans guy. Did you put on
No,
jeans?
I opted
Okay.
for the shorts. I was even
Okay.
out running around, and I typically don't because I don't like the swang that happens when you wear gym shorts to the store.
True.
But I made
True.
sure to take care of things or whatever. Either way, I was running errands
What,
in
you
gym
using tape,
shorts.
man? You just taping it to your leg?
You got to
What are
do
you talking
something.
about?
You can't get
Jesus.
you can't let it flop around when you're in a
Oh
store
man,
with
just
children.
wear
No.
some proper drawers.
Well,
man.
Well,
What the
you
hell?
go with a more supportive drawer.
When
yes.
people do that, I like to stare at them, in particular at their crotch, to make them feel uncomfortable.
Jesus.
See,
Partner.
again, World Naked
No,
Bike
that's
Ride,
fine.
you can get that out all weekend long. I don't need to be swinging my meat around in a grocery store whenever the family next to me is just trying to get a box of cereal. Listen, just pack it. Wear
But
some
they-
compression shorts if
but
you're
the
swinging
bike
Hey,
too
man,
ride
much.
this is a
people-
produce
what-
aisle, man, not the meat department.
Man, but what if I'm taking my kids down the street, we trying to grab some ice cream, and here you going, it's already sweaty. So like you just said, you feel the moisture already on your face, and then you see hordes of wang and boob and crinkly stuff and skin and moles strolling down the street. What do you say to that?
In the World Naked
And
Bike
so you
Ride?
know, yeah, and you know the
Oh,
smell
man.
that's accompanying that. So think about this. So it's a stream.
Why does it smell like 7th grade PE?
Exactly.
There
Exactly.
you have
Look
it.
at that.
This is one of the
Come
more
on.
tame
I can
photos
smell
from
this
STL
photo,
today.
man.
Except for, check out the gentleman to the if you're looking at the photo,
Jesus.
if
I
you're
just saw it.
he's to the right
Christ.
of the redheaded woman, then you have the man in the jersey. It looks like Penny Hardaway, and then there's a gentleman in loafers clenching his
Okay.
cheeks.
Okay.
But I'll give it
Okay.
to him. He's skinny enough, and he could. I don't know what he's working with, but he's at least not overconfident in his body. He's a slender guy. You can get out there and show off the
Look.
goods. But yeah, that's
Stop.
there's a lot
Stop.
going on there.
What?
I like the guy.
This is
I
so
like the
nice.
outfit
This is
in the
so
red.
nice.
That's good. That's good.
What's wrong, Travis?
It smells like a plate of old cabbage. You can smell the photo.
Now,
can
what's the
just-
brother doing right there, Trav? Is he
The
taking
brother, like-
photos? Because it looks like he's taller, and you can't really see where his arm's at. Is he taking photos of the folks? Like it looks
Can I
like
tell you guys, I'll let you in on a little bit of a secret in the Black community. We send out these guys called ghost dogs. They're kind of like spies. So when there's a white people event with a bunch of white people around, we always want to know what's really going on. Sometimes you guys like to exchange information. And so we always have to have a person there to keep an eye out just to make sure y'all not doing the most, but at least to bring something back to report. So that's what you just saw. You just saw basically a Black community spy.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the honesty in that. Do we? Is this is the picture we've got?
Yeah.
This is very tame. Very
So-
tame. I've commented on this in the past because I live right on the park. What do you got, Gardner?
The gentleman in the loafers, I actually know him. He's a regular at Rosie's.
Are you
Is
serious?
that the most St. Louis
Yeah.
thing ever?
Yep.
Now, how do you know?
He knows
just
that
based
ass
on the
anywhere.
backside. Oh, God.
For those listening at home, there's no facial recognition. It's just a naked guy in some loafers.
I know those
with-
loafers.
with clenched butt cheeks.
I've seen those loafers before.
Does he always stand
That-
so tensely?
That and some other folks from the local watering hole saw him while they were out there, and that's him. So the photo was kind of going around some.
I'll be honest. I avoided it this year. I think I've talked about it in the past. The confidence and lack of shame involved in this. I think that's what they're promoting. Do we know there is
Yeah,
an
that is
actual?
that is part of it.
But there is an actual charity that this is involved with. At worst, here's the thing. Overall, let me get this out of the way. At worst, a bunch of local businesses and bars in the Grove get a bunch of business that day, right? Fuck you, Gardner.
I was
Don't
waiting for
look up.
Travis.
At worst, it's an event.
It's like a Stanley Cup run for the cycling community.
Yeah, exactly. Black Sheep thinks the guy in the photo is Ryan Howard of the Phillies. He just rolled back into town and he's wondering what the hell happened to his town. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe there's a statute, but you got to think police are just told, like, look the other way today. Let's not hassle these people. Because overall, it seems like a very positive event. I do know there was one kind of scary part to it, but again, I just want to comment on these people's confidence because, like the Post-Dispatch will put up, they'll throw a butt in or something for some silliness. Mostly, it's people in swimsuits. Riverfront Times will show your whole dick. Like that is a news publication that your penis and/or other parts will be online or wherever for the considerable future. And good for you if you're happy with that inchworm, bro. Like that is. I am so proud of you for being able to do that. I've never seen so many funky looking things as they do when they drive by out in front of my house. But you know what? Nothing will ever compare. This is an all-time moment for me, is the group of black teenagers that obviously had no idea what was about to happen the first time out in front of the park. And then the joning and the comments and the reactions. That's an all-time moment for me. So World Naked Bike Ride, I salute you.
Were you the guy out there shooting paintball at him this year?
I was not, and this really worried me
that
because
happens.
that is scary, and it just shows how quickly, if that was something else, that could have been it. And let me say something. This fucking guy, I didn't see the outcome of. Do we have the video? I don't know if we do.
No.
There was a guy who walked into the middle of the ride and just started firing a paintball gun at somebody. First off, you're lucky somebody else doesn't fire at you thinking that it's a real gun, because that's a large group of people, and that is not a good place to do that. Second off, how brave are you that one of these dudes, one of these ladies that can throw some hands doesn't just get off and swarm your ass and take a beating for hitting him with a paintball gun?
I don't know if it's maybe Channel 5 did this on purpose, but this is from their print story on their website. Brian Krazer was in the park when he saw a bunch of naked riders going by. He whipped out his phone
Whipped out.
to record it and then saw a man starting to shoot at them with a paintball gun. Krazer couldn't get on camera, but he told Five on Your Side the shooter seemed angry that there were bear bikers as families were hanging out and kids were running around. So normally it used to be a Facebook post that we would get every year. Now it's moved on to this.
There's always a few. So, listen, it's
Yeah,
a thing.
I would not
There's
be
enough.
It's
Public awareness.
I think
I
it's
get it if you're weirded out if you have little kids. I get it, but at the same time, like,
right.
take this as an opportunity to show people it's not that big a deal, and we all have those parts. You know, like
It's our
I think at this
puritanical
point,
values.
please.
And I think at this
I'm not
point, like,
so sure. I don't throw that guy on his ass, man. Seriously.
Oh, absolutely, definitely.
You have to
Like
catch
I said,
him
I don't
first.
think any of us
Was
don't
he-
care. Like,
Cue the Ray Stevens streak song. Travis, you're a Ray Stevens fan.
idiot. Of course. No, yeah. I mean, at this point, we all know when the event is and where it takes place, and to be caught off guard at this point, I think.
I
would
enjoy
be,
that people get caught off guard, but you can't. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one day out of the year. Let people have fun. I mean, as long as it doesn't get carried away. I would rather children stay away. Let the adults do the adult things. But yeah, I mean, yeah, they aren't physically harming people. They're not pushing an agenda. So I don't. It's hard for me to have issue with what they
Just
do.
let your kid run around naked at that time. Just do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you raise your child that way, be you. Look, I ain't a parent. You want to raise your child that way, to do you.
That was me
But
as 4
at
years
the
old.
same, yeah.
I was naked every day at 4, on the beach, running
Oh
around
boy.
with He-Man and
explains a
G.I.
lot.
Joe figures. That's how I
Jesus
spent my
Christ.
life. I want to go back to it. It was simpler then.
Our friend Billy Fat Pants attended, I believe Margo Price was at Atomic Cowboy this week. That was a big show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe that, and she was tweeting out about it too, saying there's just gay people. It was a gay naked party, and it's awesome. Like she was just saying something about that in the Twitter verse. But Billy Fat Pants saw some things that cannot be unseen on Saturday night in the Grove. That's really it's funny and like, oh my gosh, there's naked people on bikes. Typically, they're not inebriated. The after party in the Grove is where things can get a little weird / hilarious because you're standing around talking to people and an eccentric person who's had 7 cocktails, no pun intended, walks by and, hey, that's a dong or whatever, right?
You might see a hand job on the
Yeah.
street corner or something.
Yeah, at that point, I think once you start to move as a group to areas that were not a part of the
I don't think that
the
happens.
whole shebang, like I would say, hey man, throw some shorts on now, throw a little tank on, like the event's officially over. That would just be my only small request because I'm just thinking about how stupid everyone can be in those situations. So I would just rather, cut that down because you're talking about just people ass out naked in a public bar. Like you see how people behave when women have clothes on. So
I think that maybe it should be assumed from now on, I would have assumed it to begin with, that the after party's included in the festivities, in particular in the Grove. Like, what the Grove is going to be like that day.
Oh yeah, the Grove. That's the landing spot, and I bet they make a killing. It's a huge day.
So I would incorporate that into my line of thinking at
Now-
least that's part of the fact that maybe I won't take a scooter over there and go get food that day
2 years ago, there was definitely a young lady.
until I do the naked electric scooter ride.
Of course, I mean that's a given. There was definitely a young lady in just a thong at the sandwich place at 2 a.m, and we were there,
Come
and we
on
were
now.
just like, yeah, maybe we could.
right.
Maybe we could cover it up. But then again,
Right.
too, we do this, and all about the positivity and everything. If someone you're attracted to, and when I say you're, I mean everyone in general, if someone who is attractive to you is naked and standing by you in the sandwich line, You're not telling them to put anything on. It's all about personal preference, and let's not lie about it, right? That
No,
is
man,
that is
nah.
one
You ain't.
million
You
percent
can't.
the
Nah,
thing.
man. I don't
It's
care
a
how bad she is.
yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna. If it's Rihanna at 2 a.m. and we
There
up
it
here
is.
trying to grab some emos, I'm gonna tell her, "Hey, you wildin'. Put a shirt on. Like, put a bra on. Like, you ain't gonna just be out here
Because
And then
with
you're
all your friends punch you in the
vagina
shoulder and say, "Shut up."
you scared you're gonna get an erection? Is that why?
There it is.
absolutely yes. And secondly, just that's just health hazard. 2 a.m. Man, I'm trying to eat my emos right now. I don't cover that up. Put a little
Somebody
leaf over it or something. I don't
I
care.
I remember going to get
somebody
a
ordered onions on their sandwich.
I remember going to get a physical. I think it was my freshman year of high school
Oh, did you do the free ones at
for
the high
cross
school where
country.
all the boys are
No.
lined up out of the door? You guys didn't do
I
free physicals?
I went to my doctor, but
Okay.
he had an assistant now. I don't even know what they're called. But like someone that was training. I don't know if it was an intern or whatnot. Um, but she was younger, and she was attractive, and she was going to conduct my physical, and I was thrown off by this, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. Like in my mind, I'm like, this is not good at all, and I was worried, and so I said, hey, do you mind if I mind if I use a restroom before?
Oh no.
I didn't take care of business,
Oh,
but I
no.
went down
No,
there
no.
and like threw cold water on my
Oh
face
no.
and like was talking to myself in the mirror because I'm like, don't let this happen. I think I made myself so anxiety ridden though that everything was cool. But
Okay.
it was good that I did that. Like I'm throwing cold water on and I'm like so worried about it
Yeah.
that
Mm.
it might be the first time that's ever happened to me. That was the first time. So yeah. So it worked out
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, this can't happen.
Right. That's the worst thing. When you go to high school and physicals are mandatory, right? And that when it starts for athletics,
Yeah.
if you want to compete.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like
Well, no, yeah, I've been doing physicals. Yeah, I've been having to do physicals. Like if we did junior football, we had to do one every year.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to say maybe it was, but either way,
Probably depended on the league or the sport, but I mean,
Right.
in high school,
but it's this big cattle
it's
call of
yeah.
everybody getting free physicals at the high school. Those doctors, boy,
like
what a
I didn't appreciate the curveball the doctor threw me actually
Right.
because I'm like, I go to you specifically for certain reasons, so
Right.
this is not part of the equation, and then you make that part of the equation, and I'm like, no, this is not fair.
But looking back on it, you think they had a giggle. Like they thought it was, he probably enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Making you go, ugh. Like that was probably part of his.
Like I go to the
joy.
bathroom and he's like, pay up. He went to the bathroom. Damn it.
Perfect. Let me tell you guys about Tommy Bannister from Circuit Properties. I'm sure he'll appreciate his business being tossed in around this conversation. Circuit Properties, here to help. They're located in South City. The offices are in Tower Grove South. You can stop by, say hello, say hi to Tommy. He'll help you buy or sell your home in the St. Louis area. He's a native, and he's here to help you. He helps from the get-go with his clients. We recommend Tommy Bannister from Circa Properties to help you and yours. Keeping it moving. Travis, I feel like New York has to have a version of this, and it's world naked bike ride. It's not just St. Louis. I wonder if this, I could see just the mass of humanity, bikes not being safe in New York. Are you aware of anything like this in New York, or did this happen in New York over the weekend somewhere?
I don't know if it happened in New York. I would imagine, and maybe it did, or will happen next week. I'm not sure how it works, but there are several types of those events in New York, and so like New York is. Remember the episodes of Real Sex on HBO?
Oh
You're
my
like,
God. Yeah, the biggest
yeah,
just
but
letdown ever.
but remember
You're
the
like,
people they
"Oh, I'm gonna see."
interviewed.
Yeah.
The people they interviewed were on the streets of New York, and so like that always in my head put this idea that New York is this eyes wide shut type of place at certain parts of the day and certain times of the week. And so I kind of took a deep dive the wormhole recently because I was just trying to find something to
Don't
do
say
around
wormhole at
town.
this time.
Yeah, it's some events like that. It's definitely where you show up and it's like some eyes wide shut type of situations, which is cool because you can't find that in Clayton.
Hmm.
So,
Mm-mm. Do we want a
oh
quick
wait, I think
overview?
What was
could.
the word in that movie? Didn't they have like a safe word or something like that?
I think so,
that's
but I
what I
couldn't remember.
Do you want a quick overview of the World Naked Bike Ride?
Okay.
Okay. It aims to promote bicycle transportation, renewable energy, recreation, walkable communities, and
Well, not
environmentally
scooters,
responsible, sustainable solutions to living in the 21st century. Participants
What
celebrate
does that mean? What does that any of that mean?
the many benefits of a car-free lifestyle, reduced emissions, free parking, and overall a greater feeling of freedom. WNBR promotes body positivity. Sounds like an excuse to ride your bike naked in a city.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's just call it what it is, man. That's just some look, and I love it because I understand, people want to live their life and they found a way to lobby it. They found a way to organize it, and I can't hate. But this is something like the sisters of Hillary Clinton would concoct at Stanford because they just want to be able to, you know, ride a bike up and down the street ass naked in the
Yeah.
middle of the summer, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like in order for it to be accepted in society, you have to
Deliver it a
weave in a
certain way.
narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Charities
So,
involved. Stuff
right.
like it promotes something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what. That's not a bad formula to use.
I guess my question is, I would be curious that what it looks like 364 days out of the year. Like I get the 1 day of year event. I want to know what it looks like the rest of the days throughout the year.
I'm looking at this map of locations that participate. I mean, it's truly, Montreal, Caracas, Venezuela, Tucson, Tampa Bay,
Chris, we all saw Firefest.
Spain,
You can't just look at a website and just be like, "Oh man,
Brazil,
that shit legit. That look dope. That's got to
Australia,
be." Oh, so look, they're in all these cities.
Belgium.
That's how they
is one,
get
is one of the
dumbasses.
Kardashians doing this? What's going on?
Thank you.
So
What influencers are involved?
right.
Which social media influencers are involved with the World Naked Bike Ride?
So two things.
How come we only hear about them 1 day a year?
Well, because
I'm curious. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm wanting to know what else are they doing throughout the year to talk about those issues that they brought up in their brochure.
I can answer that question, Travis. They're planning
Okay.
next year's event. There you go.
Well, wait. No. Gardner, you're wrong.
There's routes, there's permits, there's a lot of stuff that's got to get done.
For 3 to 5 days after, they're dealing with the chafing.
Yeah,
That's,
okay, fair.
that's a given, right?
And then they, brass tacks. Let's get down to it. Let's figure out next year.
Okay.
Awkwardly, brass tacks is about the average size of a World Naked Bike rider.
Oh, Chris.
Oh man! So overall, do we say keep it going, or if you
Yes.
can
No,
wave
man.
a magic, if you
No,
could wave a
like-
magic dong, would you say keep it or get rid of it?
You just wanted to get that joke in there first off.
Well, I made the hand movement. I was about to say wand, and I said no, I got to say dong. You could wave a magic dong. Would you keep it? Or I'm saying keep it.
I say get rid of it.
Wow, what a conservative view from Travis.
No, do it in
Terrell.
Clayton. Do it in Clayton, man.
Do it
Go
in
do it in
Clayton. Do it in
Go do what
Clayton.
we're doing in Clayton.
Do
Yeah,
it in
it's good.
Chesterfield.
No, do it in Chesterfield then.
Do it
I
in
feel so
Festus.
strongly
People
about it.
literally shoot at you.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. Y'all want to come to odd streets in the city? Nah, do that shit somewhere out in Kirkwood. Let's see what
No,
happens.
I'd say that's like a Maplewood move, right?
It's okay.
Although Kirkwood, let me say this, as my complaints about me being forced to be party to your body positivity. Now you start going to Kirkwood, Chesterfield, some other places where people are more vanity driven. Clayton too.
Nah,
I
ain't
think
nobody,
maybe
man.
Maybe they need the
maybe-
lesson more than anyone.
Well, no, I'm saying maybe they draw a bigger crowd in a more in shape and attractive area. That could be something. Then you might turn this into a regional thing and not just a city and local thing.
All right. I bet. Let me see that shit in Kirkwood then.
What
Yes, I'll be all
neighborhood
for
would
it.
have the
we gotta do-
stereotypically hottest rider?
We got to do Chesterfield just because I want to see their city council react on social media.
See, but what would happen if
Because
you were,
that helped. That's more about me though.
yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna have fun with this
If you're
interaction.
if you're in the Chesterfields and Ladou's though, so are you standing outside?
I'll go out there with just a Chesterfield County shirt on. If
I
they
don't
put
doubt
it in Chesterfield, I would go pantsless with just a Chesterfield County shirt on.
But if you do it,
You
are
know
you
what?
But
If
I
they
would
feel
use an
as
electric
strongly-
scooter.
Here's what I would do, because right now what they're doing, they're preaching to the choir. You know, their progressive points of view, they work well where Chris lives. That's perfect. No. Take it to the people who need to hear it. I dare you hold this bike ride out in St. Charles. Do it.
No,
Do it.
in these
Hold
communities,
it on Main Street. Let's see what happens.
the neighborhood association, the guys are all standing next to each other. The mom rides by, and it's like, oh, I didn't know Cheryl had a tattoo on her inner thigh. 2 neighbors down, the guy's like, oh, I saw. Oh shit! And you realize your wife's been sleeping with half the neighborhood.
I'll ask my mom and dad how they think O'Fallon, Missouri would react to having the naked bike ride out there. Like just down. I like to say O'Fallon is like Las Vegas without the lights.
What?
Because
It's not.
You're gonna need to walk us
It's
through that.
not.
I'm going to explain it simply.
Thank
Oh,
you.
It's because it's all built off a strip. So you go from
There
highway,
are other places with strips.
but you go from
Thank you,
highway
Chris.
40 to all the way to highway 79, and it's all built off one road.
Okay.
It's all built off this strip of road,
Okay.
which goes from highway K to highway M at 70.
All right.
So it's all built off. It's just like
Just
Vegas.
like Vegas.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just like it.
80,000,
So close.
projected to have over 120,000 people in the next 30 years
Oh,
out
yeah.
there. But I don't,
Are you gonna move back there one day?
probably not.
Reclaim some land?
Nah.
Okay.
I already
Gotcha.
burnt down an acre and a half when I was younger.
Not surprised.
See what I mean?
What? Hey, the fire department came. The police came. I was in trouble. It was scary.
Take that.
Sorry.
So Travis is anti-world naked bike ride officially.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Especially, I'm pro moving it to Chesterfield,
I think that'd be fantastic.
the
Why-
outlet store capital of St. Louis County.
Take it. You know what? Just do a few laps around Creve Coeur Lake Park. Let's see how.
Not
So
enough
you
people.
show me.
Not enough people.
No, I need to know.
Yeah.
No, because I'm tired of everybody grifting right now. Let's be real. People are freaking grifters. And I need to know what you're doing the rest of the year. If you sitting up here, as Gardner just alluded to, bullshitting and coming up with next year's bike ride,
Hey,
then hell no.
you need
Get the hell out of
permits.
here.
Yeah, permits are a big deal.
That's a tough thing to get. You need a
Ain't
route.
no dancing. I put it this way, you'll win me over, at least turn it into a music festival.
Oh, there's music.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Like the Scissor Sisters?
Oh no.
Oh, okay. Hey, I saw this tweet last
The
night.
Buzzcocks.
You happy? You
The
both
band.
get your jokes out? You happy now, you two?
Mhm.
Idiots. I saw this tweet last night, and people were wondering, think of a fictional character that's not a villain that you think absolutely voted for Donald Trump. So name a fictional character who absolutely voted for Trump, no villains. So we were going back and forth on this last
Yeah.
night in the group chat.
Let us know in the comments.
Mainly, please do. We came up with a pretty decent list, I thought. I thought it was pretty good. So we already know every character played by Clint Eastwood, right? I think that's a given. Every single character Clint Eastwood has ever played
In the
voted for
in
Trump.
the new century, at least. Yeah, most certainly.
I mean, I'm even going back to Dirty Harry. I'm even willing to go all the way
Harry Callahan.
back
Okay.
to like his old, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like,
Yeah.
you think that guy voted for Hillary? I don't think so.
Okay. That's fair.
So yeah.
Well, the first one that popped in my head was Bruce Wayne.
Which hurt. It hurt to admit that. Like when you sent that, I was immediately upset. One, that I didn't think of it, but two, upset that I can't refute that. Bruce Wayne would absolutely have voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah, just a lot of
Like
money.
everything. I mean, isn't Bruce Wayne technically Jeffrey Epstein?
Oh,
What?
that's a
Take it.
Bit of a-
Whoa.
How old was Robin, man? How old was
Hey,
Robin?
hey, come on.
yeah. How did Bruce
I'm
Wayne
just
make his
saying.
money? I don't even know. How did he make his money?
But I'm just saying, all the people
Yeah,
he
what did they do?
recruited, they weren't even
That's not a
15,
thing.
14.
What
Just
did
saying.
Wayne Enterprises do?
Exactly.
What, They
Everything.
We don't know how Jeffrey
import,
Epstein made
export.
his money. Exactly. We don't know how Jeffrey Epstein made his money. We don't know how Bruce Wayne made his money.
That's an interesting
And
topic.
he had a cave. He literally had a cave.
Mm,
I mean, come on.
yeah.
Bruce Wayne is Jeffrey Epstein. This is crazy.
He at least, I'm not taking it that far, but he at least voted for Trump. I would agree with that.
You call Bruce Wayne Epstein one more time. I'm drawing a correlation from Cosby to Wakanda. So knock it off.
Yeah, you tried to throw Cliff Huxtable in there. Basically, I think you're trying to dump Bill Cosby, so you're trying to.
That was
You're
pretty
like, oh,
obvious.
Cliff, Dr. Cliff Huxtable. Yeah. I'm like, no, we're not taking that one.
No.
We're not accepting it because you're not going to get rid of Bill Cosby that easily.
Now, you did, Travis, you did say that maybe Carl from Family Matters, Carl Winslow, would be a Trump supporter. Maybe so. I don't know. What do you think?
Carl Winslow, I mean, he's a cop. Um, I don't know. He just has a lot of Ben Carson in him. So I feel like he could absolutely be the guy that's like I could feel like he would stand on stage with Trump if he came to Chicago.
To set a good example for his children. See, I stood,
Ye-
and he'd have a nice speech how he stood on
Yeah,
stage. It didn't matter that that's the office that you respect, and I was on stage with the president
right.
of the
Yeah,
United
that's
States of
what
America.
Carl Winslow would probably do. Now, Chris had said Uncle Phil, but I pushed back on that one because Uncle Phil, he grew up in the hood. He was a civil rights attorney. And while indeed he did become rich, I believe he ran for, I think, the judgeship as a Democrat.
Hmm. Which would now,
He
and
was
under those
he was
terms, he'd be a
technically
conservative today.
No, he would not.
Oh yeah,
no.
yeah. That's how
Now
that
he
works.
was neighbors, or they lived in the same neighborhood as the Reagans.
Mm-hmm.
So but I don't think Reagan conservative at least would admit to voting for Trump.
You think Reagan would
Even
make
though
a
I'm sure
decision?
there are a ton
I
of Reagan
No,
conservatives.
no.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I don't
I-
think Bush does. I
I-
think Bush is ready to vomit.
I said Bo and Luke Duke,
Yeah,
the
that
Dukes
goes
of
without saying.
Hazzard.
Sean in the
In
comments.
fact, they would have
Sorry, go ahead.
absolutely they would open some rallies for Trump.
Yeah.
Like if
In
he
the
was
early
like,
goings,
if
they'd
Trump
be like,
was,
"It's a party,
yeah,
dude."
The car drives in.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
General
yeah,
drives in. Yeah.
Sean in the comments says Joe Dirt.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You're not-
He
Joe
would have
Dirt
got
not
swept
only
into
voted for
it.
Trump,
He
but
wouldn't have understood.
he ended up becoming like director of communication at Breitbart.
What, Joe Dirt? He was a sweetie.
Yeah.
Come on.
What about Charles Minor? That's it. So
Idris Elba's character in The Office.
I was
He
trying.
came from Steel. He was
But you had-
he was not a he was definitely. I got you there.
You
You're
said
right there.
came from steel. Remember, you got all upset when
Yeah.
Trump came in town and he went to Granite City to go promote the steel
That's true.
factories over there.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing too. But it's like, but then you have Tim Taylor, right? Detroit, probably a very Democrat city, right?
But he wasn't living in the hood.
But I'm saying, like, there are some hardcore, old school Democrats that you wouldn't expect that because of unions and things like that, they'll only
You
vote
think
Democrat.
Tim Taylor was a Democrat?
I don't think Tim Allen was, but he could have been an old school Democrat. Oh, yeah, right? He could have. I don't know if Tim Taylor
I
voted
mean,
for Trump.
Tim Taylor, let's be honest, like
Al Borland.
he does some Trump stuff. Like he had Pamela Anderson in short shorts and titties hanging out, and you up here doing a show about repairing, do it yourself.
Yeah.
So
Trump's never
he
swung a
kind of
hammer
has
in
like,
his life.
he swung something.
Tim Taylor, hardcore white flight dude. Says Tom
Yes.
Oh yeah, that
in the
makes sense.
comments.
Yeah, I would.
Tom Brown also says Al Bundy. I argue that Al Bundy
Yeah.
was going to vote Trump until he got a bad case of Trump steaks, and he's hardcore Democrat now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I know. I think Chris could be onto something. Al Bundy is the kind of guy that I think this last election voted for Trump, but if Joe Biden was running, he'd vote for him.
I had a couple more.
I don't know why that works. Yeah, I said the Lannisters.
Yeah.
I said the Lannisters, of course, they all would. I don't know if anybody else on Game of Thrones would vote for Trump.
You said Jack Donaghy.
Jack Donaghy of 30 Rock.
What that made me think of is the dynamic that show would have had right now in this political climate, because there was such an attachment with Donaghy to Reagan on that show. And, like, he had pictures in
Yes.
the office, and he would try to use quotes and stuff like this. And then seeing what we are now, and then knowing Alec Baldwin's impersonation on Saturday Night Live, like, that just set me down like, oh my God, what would 30 Rock be like right now with everything going on and knowing
True.
some of the built-in storyline potential already?
We have our guy Tom Duff in the comments asking if George Jefferson would have voted for Trump.
Oh,
No, I thought about that, but George Jefferson, like he may have voted for like Mitt Romney, but George Jefferson, um, like also was like, hey man, I ain't on that bullshit. Like you up here, you wilding out with some of these comments. Like you doing the most. I can't support you. So yeah, I don't think George Jefferson would.
I said Kramer from Seinfeld.
But why?
But
By accident.
no, his vote was in exchange for a round of golf at Mar-a-Lago.
Yes.
I said Joey from Friends. His reason was he appeared in a Trump University print ad, and so he had a tie to him that way. Now, the
That
one
makes
I
sense.
really came to mind later, and I enjoyed, and I thought of Travis when it popped in my head, was from News Radio, Joe Gorelli, the engineer, the electrician,
Who
played
played
by Joe
him?
Rogan. Joe Rogan
Hmm.
there. So I thought that one fit pretty well, and I smiled when I sent that text to all of you.
I
was
had
waiting for
George
Chris to yell at me.
Costanza.
Oh,
I think
I was like, I
George
don't
would
know. He doesn't
absolutely
like
have
Trump.
voted for Trump. I
You
think
think George
Costanza
did?
would have voted for Trump. Yeah.
Costanza. I think the nanny didn't because she hooked up with him once and can't stand him now.
Jesus. Which is no man, that's messed up.
Well, there you go.
Speaking of
That was a
Seinfeld,
pretty good exercise though, because then you
Yeah.
couldn't cheat and use villains, so you
Right.
had to truly think about some of your favorite
Yeah.
characters.
because there's some quasi
I said Toby
villains.
Flenderson also from The Office.
Okay.
I said Toby probably voted for him. Maybe Michael Scott because he would be just confused.
See, I think his obsession with Obama and whatever he was doing there would stop him from that. I think that you're not looking yourself in the mirror. I think Stanley may have voted for Trump.
I could see Stanley like
Are my
being
taxes
fed
lower?
up with. I like, yeah, I could see Stanley being fed up. I
But
could
his
just see Stanley
taxes
being
wouldn't
like,
be lower, though,
Right,
is the
but
thing.
he
Right.
voted on that stance.
See, I couldn't figure
but
out
yeah,
like,
but you, yeah,
like,
Stanley makes sense. Damn it.
I was thinking like Roger Dorn from Major League, but then I couldn't tell like what do you mean by villain? Because at least throughout part of the movie, you're kind of like just shut the hell up, Dorn. But then in the end, everything's cool, so I don't know exactly.
Where he fits.
Yeah, where he fits in that. I also said Woodstock from Charlie Brown.
Interesting.
I've never trusted that fucking bird.
Oh no.
That stuff's it's not necessary.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
rude.
He's
Do
gotta,
not trust that
it's
bird.
gotta have some magical powers. That
Names
dog.
yourself
That dog.
Woodstock.
That dog never ate him.
That's
either.
like someone that's phony trying to get in on something. Like, hey, I need to fit in.
Right.
I don't
Hey.
trust
Yeah, I
that
can see
fucking
that.
bird.
Right.
He has a Scaramucci vibe to him. I can see that.
Yeah, I don't
absolutely.
like. So I put.
What about the kid? What about the kid in Little Big League? And the reason why I asked, like,
What?
he owns. Well, he inherited a Major League Baseball team.
Yeah. You
So
get a
those are
Democrat in
new
there, they're going to
estate
eliminate
taxes.
that.
Well, you got new estate taxes. You talking about, that inheritance tax. He's looking at property taxes as well. He's probably leaning towards Trump. Yes. Oh, wow. Was he? Oh, Trump's wow. And he just took over as the manager. That's a Trump move.
Yeah, that is kind
He
of.
took over as that is a very I don't know.
I'll just do
And
it.
then he had this. So he kind of Jared Kushnered. Who was the best baseball character, the best baseball player of the Twins? You remember the player that
Kirby
wanted to
Puckett?
get with his mom?
Oh.
No,
Oh.
the player who wanted to get with the mom in Little Big League.
Tory Hunter. Justin Morneau.
Let's go to break.
Joe Mauer.
Johan
I
Santana.
don't know, trying to picture Kirby Puckett trying to get that kid's mom in the book.
God bless Kirby Puckett.
Oh, God.
You're a fucking idiot, Deadman. I hate your haircut.
When you see Kirby Puckett, you should just look it.
Before we go to break, huge thank you to Gateway
No, just
Powder
go to
Coating.
break, man. Don't connect the sponsor to this.
GatewayPowderCoat.com
Oh,
is the
Jesus.
website. They are the #1 resource for powder coating in the Midwest. Fast, durable, affordable. If you check out their Facebook page, they've got a wonderful array of photos of their work. Recently redid some stadium seats. If you have a smoker during this time, if you're going to be barbecuing, furniture outside, anything metal, if you can paint it, you can powder coat it. Go see Mark and the gang out of Gateway Powder Coating. Check out gatewaypowdercoat.com. One more before we go to break.
Ken Herbeck.
Black Sheep says Chet Steadman would have voted for Trump. He was the old pitcher for the Cubs and Rookie of the Year.
Champ Kine would have absolutely voted for Trump.
Champ Kine would have been leading a rally. He would have
that's a
spoke
good
at the San Diego rally of Trump, and he would have.
Brian Fantana and Champ Kine.
They would have gotten. There would have been photos of them a little too hammered with Trump and the Donald's team.
In fact, Champ Kine probably would be Secretary of State right now.
Yeah, he would. He's been
Champ
holding out for
Kine
that
would be
spot.
testifying before Congress.
Now, so what if he grabbed her?
I mean, that would be that bad. He would
Just
have to testify.
old-fashioned fun.
That's how
Todd
bad.
Todd Packer also would. Todd Packer would.
Look, Packer would, absolutely. Hit Keckner up. Let's write a sketch. Let's see if he'll do it.
There it is.
I'll fly out to L.A. myself and film it with him. I don't care. But yeah, let's write this up.
Testifying before Congress?
Yes.
That
Somebody
woman
call
was
Adam McKay.
that woman was a bitch.
You just want to see AOC question Champ
Yes.
Kine?
Yeah.
As Champ
and he
Kine
starts
comes
it off.
on to her.
Hello, madam.
It just like as the interview goes further along,
AOC flips him because he wants to sleep with her.
The flirtation gets.
He thinks it's foreplay.
Yes, exactly. See, so tell Adam McKay, Dave Keckner, email me. We can get this all sorted out by the end of the week. We'll have a really cool viral sketch.
Okay.
There it
Chris,
is.
make that happen.
Big shout out to Kirby Puckett. Quick break on We Are Live. We'll be right back.